As you know, my name is Caitlin Garrigan, and I'm currently pursuing a Master in Educational Leadership at Arizona State University. I'm looking to interview three stakeholders to identify potential trends regarding parent involvement regarding two essential questions. What do school stakeholders, including parents and school personnel, think about the school's connections to families and the community? What ideas do stakeholders have to improve the school's connection to families and the community? All responses will be used to develop a stronger parent involvement at Paseo Point. Thank you very much for your time. How many children do you have and what ages are they?
I have two children. My oldest will be 21 in January, and my youngest is in 8th grade, and she is 13.
And how many of your children attend this school?
One.
Okay, so
My 8th grader.
Your 8th grader.
At Paseo Point.
And how long has your 8th grader been here at Paseo Point?
She's been here since 6th grade when the school opened. So she's been here since the beginning of this campus.
Okay. So how do you find out information or what's going on at school? Can you give me an example?
Our school does a really good job of communicating to parents, either with phone calls home from the principal about upcoming events, school websites, Facebook pages through the PTA, flyers sent home, and other parents have put together little group pages on Facebook that share information.
What kind of information does the school provide to you as a parent?
We receive a lot of information. We receive information on both school events and community events. For instance, because Megan is in 8th grade, she's going to be looking at transferring to high school next year, and we've been receiving lots of information from the local high schools and different events that they hold, a community event coming up in which we can go and look at all of the high school campuses at one kind of informational event. We also receive information on health issues that might be necessary for the kids to know, upcoming vaccinations that are needed. We might find out information on testing, how to help your student prepare for testing, and different school events, fun events.
Do you think this provides enough communication and information as a parent that you need?
Yes, I mean, there's always room for improvement when it comes to information from the school, but Paseo Point does a fabulous job of keeping everybody in the loop. I know from experience with my older son, when he was in high school, there was very little communication, and that was something I used to complain to the high school about all the time.
What kind of information do teachers provide you at Paseo Point?
I'll get mostly information regarding behavior and grades from the teachers. I will occasionally get from the Remind app. A couple of her teachers use the Remind app. So I'll get an upcoming notice on a test. Hey, don't forget to study for this test on this standard. We're going to have this test on Friday. So that's a nice thing to get occasionally too.
Does this provide enough communication and information that you need as a parent?
I think it does. I think the teachers could utilize their personal websites on the school page a little bit better. But I think overall, they do a really good job of communicating with the parents.
Can you tell me about a time when a teacher communicated clearly and effectively with you?
So let me think. Recently, we had confusion on an assignment that was due, and I reached out to the teacher by email, and instead of just responding by email, she called and explained everything to me on exactly what pages, what needed to be done, and in what order everything should be put together. So that was really helpful.
And how did that make you feel as a parent?
Really good. I mean, I felt valued as a parent. I felt that my student was valued, and I felt good. The teacher took time out of her day to call instead of just responding to a quick email.
Can you tell me about a time when a teacher did not communicate effectively and there was a breakdown in communication?
Last year, there was a difficult teacher that we had in regards to communication. She would let things go by without letting the parents know. Sometimes the grades in the grade book online didn't match what I saw coming home. But I think after a few parents reaching out, I think it eventually got better.
And how did that make you feel as a parent?
Frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I felt very frustrated. I didn't feel that my student was being valued. I didn't feel that the family was being valued. Kind of felt like the teacher was being a little bit selfish as far as where her time was being spent.
Is it easy for you to find out how your child's performing academically?
Yes. The online grading system, the Parent View, is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that I can actually log in through my daughter's student view, and it shows me a completely different outlook, which sometimes is a little bit easier to look at because I can see what's coming as far as assignments. But that's really helpful in keeping track of where she's at grade-wise instead of just waiting for a progress report to come home.
How often do you think you use the Parent View system?
I check it weekly.
Okay.
But that's because she's in a program at dance where she has to keep her grades up in order to remain in that team. So it's really vital for her to make sure she's got her grades up. So we check it every week.
Is it easy for you to find out how your child is performing behaviorally?
Oh yeah, I know that the teachers are really good about letting me know if there's a problem. They know that we hold high expectations as a family for behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really good about letting me know if there's ever a problem, and we'll kind of try to come up with a plan to make sure it doesn't happen anymore.
Have you ever contacted the school? How often and what for?
I will contact the school generally if I have a concern that something might not be handled appropriately within the classroom. I don't think I have to contact the school as far as administration very often. I think maybe I contacted the principal once or twice in the last 2 years. Most of the time it's if there's an absence that needs to be excused. That's usually the only reason I would contact the school.
Okay. And then have you ever contacted a teacher at the school? How often and what for?
I keep in contact with the teachers fairly frequently. I think that communicating back and forth between the teachers and the family is very helpful, not only just for the teacher and the family, but for the success of the student. I think it builds a good relationship. Mm-hmm. My daughter knows that I'm not only going to be on her side and advocate for her, but that I will take the side of the teacher as well if I think that she's not being honest as far as what's happening in the class. If I know that the teacher has been in contact with me about something, then she knows I'm going to support the teacher as well.
What are some things that you do at home to support your child's education?
We try to read a lot. My daughter does not like to read. So I will occasionally sit down with her and we'll read something together, or I'll find something interesting that I think, an article that she might like, and we'll read it together. I sit with her while she's doing homework to make sure that it's getting done. It might not be at the table. It might just be on the couch, but we're sitting together so she can ask for help if she needs help. That way I'm right there and I know it's getting done.
What makes you do these things?
Because education in our household is really important. And I know that even if she's not looking at college in the future, she needs to have a strong foundation of basic education for even just going into the workforce after high school. So it's important to us that she gets a good education.
Mm-hmm. What are some ways that the school has tried to involve you in your child's education at home?
The school does a really good job of holding parent information nights or curriculum nights, and they'll give resources for each grade level, certain websites that we can use, different activities that we can do at home, different study groups that we can get involved in online if there's a need for that. So I think it's helpful